Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Hey folks, Dude here, coming in again, another edition of Dude After Dark. It's been a little while since I've been able to do such, mostly because, well, I did something that probably you should never ever do to YouTube, and that's actually make them have a moment of introspection brought about by utilizing something from another social media platform that makes them let their arguments look really, really bad. What am I speaking of? Well, basically, what it was Donald Trump concerning something along the lines of the January 6th stuff, and I can't get into it too terribly much. Or they're just gonna ding me again, knock me down, and say you posted something that we find to be something that is just makes our arguments look bad. Anyway, scarce entertainment in the chat room or cite sources and make fact-based statements. Oh, true that. All right, so anyway, Beetlejuice, good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. No, I've had a little bit of a break there, and I might have set a record. I don't know if I have, but I might have set a record. I was back on Facebook after a 30-day, and I think I may have broken a record. I got booted back off for another 30 days within like not even a week's worth of using time. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. And I had some fun. I posted up some stuff, and it was very well received. Everybody was like, yeah, dude's posting up cool stuff again. Yay! And it was like, yeah, but then you made a public statement or comment upon something, and then they had like, the little block that pops up as soon as you clock in going, you posted something that we find against, social standards and community guidelines and blah, 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 blah. And you posted something that made one of our cause celebs look bad. And we really just have to call you upon it. And we have an argument that pretty much just, how do you say it without saying it? Oh, that's definitely a lot of their arguments on the other side of the aisle, shall we say. But anyway, what it was essentially I had some situation where they were posting up something about like, some trans or cross-dressing person. And it was like, oh, no, they basically state themselves as absolutely, air quotes, female. And I was like, yeah, why don't you kick him in the nuts? Or why don't you kick her in the nuts? And they're like, well, you can retract this statement, this, that, and the other thing. And I contested it. So they're like, but you didn't learn your lesson by us telling you shouldn't be saying such things. We're going to give you a 30-day. Boom. And it's like, you know what? You're not going to turn me around. You're not going to make me be anything different than what I am. And I am honor bound to hold up to my previous statements. And I'm going to stand by my word. So, yeah, I'm going to exactly say that which I said. And if you try to go, well, you shouldn't have said such things, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. And sorry, I'm not going to be that which you want me to be. Excuse me one second. I need a swig of Tigger juice. Fresh Tigger juice, by the way. Mr. Korig is still rocking strong. Bumping and grinding on stuff here. Excuse me one second. Slight disorganization. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Sometimes when I set stuff up on the desk, it's a little different, and it's a little bit underhanded and a little bit, in the way. Speaking of underhanded in the way, yeah, we're going to be talking about that piece of, how do I say this without saying this, without getting myself really, truly just, booted from the wayside and made to look like, doing those things yet again. How do I say this without saying this? I know this guy. Yeah, we're talking about Billy Joe Armstrong, from Green Day. Oh, that piece of utter human squalor. Just, yeah, there's not much I can really say about him other than he's just yeah, just yeah, he's just yeah, just a yeah, just yeah. He's just a windbag, and that's putting it nicely. That's about as nice as I could possibly state it, and still maintain some decorum with being PG-13, which I try to say. Um, technically PG-13. You can say the S word like crazy, and you can say the F word once per movie. So I could really, really basically light him up totally. Um, Curious Entertainment says taco, ham, sandy cabbage. I don't, dude. You might have to break that one down for me. I don't know. Oh, Martina Sasquatch says once per scripts. Yeah. So anyway, that piece of human debris from Green Day says F asterisk asterisk K America. This is coming from truthpress.com. And he's renouncing his citizenship over the Roe v. Wade reversal. Um, well, he's also declared himself as gay. Then he declared himself as bi. Then he declared himself as gay or bi. Then he said essentially, I'm pansexual. Whatever, douche. You're just a screaming leftard, crap bag. And I'm really keeping it clean on this one, folks. Trust me, I really, really, really want to express to you how earnestly I think he's just a raging, stinking pile of human debris. He's unworthy of the phrase of which you would ever apply upon him. And so he said he's renouncing his citizenship in the aftermath of the SCOTUS abortion ruling. Supposedly, I've also heard it stated that the Democrats are so unbelievably just brokenhearted about this thing going bye-bye that they're trying to codify it in the Senate. Well, they don't have the majority. They're not going to actually be able to stick that thing in and make sure it happens. And we go back to baby killing as usual. It's not going to be that way. Essentially, the biggest problem that most people have, and I've stated this myself, the biggest problem with Roe v. Wade was it was something from on high that should have been a states' rights issue. It was a gross and grotesque overreach by the federal government to say, yeah, all 50 states, boom, you're in kowtow with this. This is federal law, this and the other thing. It is constitutional. I'm sorry, folks. I have read the Constitution, and there is no component therein that says you may deprive life of another human being, even in utero, and get away with it. It's been well stated that, essentially that you have 14th Amendment rights. You basically have freedom of those things expressly compounding upon the federal government to the limit of the federal government, then reverts back to the states. So the states then have the classic statement in therein of the power structure being that we are a republic. We are not a democracy. The power always goes from the state to the federal, never from the federal to the state. Now, the biggest problem I have with the federal government is any law, federal law, any federal law they have ever written has to follow through their charter. Every federal law has to follow under two precepts. It either has to follow under taxation, which pretty much under all 50 states, they follow through, and that's their purview, or it falls under interstate commerce. Now, it's been challenged and it's been posited, not even an abortion, but it's been challenged and posited that if you make, keep, and don't ever leave the state with a machine gun, the federal government has absolutely no way to state itself as saying, well, you're having a legal machine gun. Oh, it completely is against the federal gun law of 1934. Oh, because essentially it's interstate commerce. If you have a machine gun that's made in, let's just say Idaho, and you purchase that and it gets shipped to, well, let's say Pennsylvania, there is obviously interstate commerce. This state has purchased something from that state ships to that state. So under the Commerce Clause, obviously that's going to fall under obviously taxation. Obviously, it's going to fall under transport. Obviously, it's going to fall under federal firearms license because you have guy A, guy B doing the federal firearms transfer. And it is not an easy thing to say, I'm just shipping you a machine gun, okay? There is actually some pretty good handshake there. It's not like you just do a standard firearms purchase, which is just obviously semi-auto, single shot, bolt action, lever, pump, whatever, what have you, something that basically fires one round per action of the user. That would be a semi-automatic, or it would be an unregulated, I believe it's class one or basically your standard FFL holder for a standard firearms sales license. Now, there's obviously other levels they're in. There's obviously Group 6, Group 7, SOT. All those guys are like manufacturers. They're transfers of machine guns, transfers of suppressors. There's extra levels of everything that those guys have to do. So beside the fact that they have like a standard, firearms, it's known in the industry as having your firearms book. Even if it's in your laptop that you put in front of you and you tick, 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 and you put everything in digitally, you have a federal firearms book. Now, usually what it is those guys are smart and they have it in their laptop, but they also physically have a firearms book where you log in gun from point A to point B, who it got transferred to in lieu of sale. Did you transfer that instead of a sale to a person? Did you just send it off to another gun store? All those things come into play. Now, that's actually, going rowdy around how, federal firearms stuff works. Now, in terms of abortion, if you are in the same state of which you reside, you have the services performed in the same state, and you haven't left the state to have the abortion done somewhere else, there is no interstate commerce. There is no taxation. Usually, in a medical procedure, I think there actually is like sales tax or something. But if something along those lines, the federal government is majorly overreaching to say, yep, we're now going to control everybody to have these things all over the states because we're now, on high and we can do these things. The biggest problem was, of course, it was a major overreach by the federal government. It was asking for more of which they did not have in terms of their ability to restrict, ensure, or enable. Just give me 1 second here. So anyway, the man behind American Idiot. God, if there was anything ever more ironic and apropos, the guy that called everybody the American Idiot. I'm not an American idiot. Supposedly, moron thinks he's going to roll out of the United States. And everything's going to be all hunky dory, and he will have no further problems in life, and everything's going to be great. Well, I gotta say it's actually pretty funny because this guy is like going on and on about, I'm now the big show and this, that, and dude, your career was really back in the late 90s and 2000s at best. Green Day is not one of those bands that everybody's gonna be like coming out of the woodwork going, oh wow, well, oh yeah, amazing, these guys are touring again. It's not gonna be like a Metallica tour, okay? It's not even gonna be like like if Kiss actually decides to have another sixth or seventh farewell tour at this point. They are not in the same league whatsoever. And Billy Joe is, well, he's Billy Joe. He's pretty much a screaming memeite who's on about the same level as most of these really left-hard performers who pretty much think that because they're the guys on stage, thousands of people can just go gravitate to him because they kind of follow him on Twitter and whatnot. And he's got the, the check mark. Whatever. I did have a funny meme I posted up on Facebook, and it's pretty funny too. But this one is absolutely screamingly appropriate for the situation where we find ourselves. There's this chick, basically, like almost like screaming to the heavens, "My corporate employer is going to pay my travel expenses to have an abortion." And then there's like almost like like the glissando kind of a thing. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can't find it real quick. That's how I have it. Okay, hang on a second. She's like calling to the heavens, I'm gonna this, that, and the other thing, and you will know me for what I am, screaming to the heavens. And down comes an angelic female with the harp and whatnot, and gives her a small script. And you see the chick is like looking at the angel, flying away. And then she looks down at the piece of paper and it says, because they don't want to pay for your maternity leave, stupid. Um, oh, Martina Sasquatch. Green Day was an El Sabrandi garage band that got lucky. That's it. Yeah, I mean, they really truly don't have a whole hell of a lot to offer. I think maybe like 3 or 4 songs. I mean, if you're going to listen to like a band that's like really kind of politically snarky, I gotta say, if I'm going to listen to anybody like that, it's going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers because at least you have the musicianship of Flea. You have some like really good songs. I mean, you can't really escape Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, you just can't. And their career has been like ongoing for freaking ever. I mean, I can remember being back at a punk club in 1980. Oh God, 1988, 1989, and seeing one of the wall posters where they were standing there completely naked but wearing tube socks on their junk, and it was Red Hot Chili Peppers concert da da da. Bring your own socks, and I was like, that's funny. Martina Sasquatch in the room said, my late mom saw them play back in high school at Deniza in the 80s. Well, they're obviously somebody that had caught notice, and they were just punk enough to fit into the zeitgeist of the 90s and kind of toe into the thousands, but never was truly impressed with them whatsoever. Obviously, tons of people having fun with all kinds of memes now with Joe doing his bike fall and whatnot, and of course I had to share one of those. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but Rudy Giuliani, he's like 78. Okay, he's not a weak dude either. I mean, I've seen him in a number of interviews, and he is Deniza. Sorry, Dean Deniza. And so anyway, he was basically doing his roundy rounds and what have you. And some guy ran up to him, smacked him on the back, and was like, you blanking this, that, and the other thing. And, he almost fell over. And they rousted the guy, busted him. He got numerous charges. He was going to get charged with assault on somebody over age 65. And they downgraded that to, I think, a 3rd-degree assault versus a 2nd-degree assault. And there's a couple other charges they stuck on him. And this is the kind of stuff you get when the left loses, and they really are not good losers. They have to do all their social unrest and the summer of rage and whatnot, and all that other fun, happy stuff. I got to tell you guys, you doing all this social, burning stuff and carrying on and happy falderall and whatnot, you're not going to stuff the genie back in the bottle when it comes to the Supreme Court. And when it comes time that basically people are getting really sick of your crap, you're not going to win in the long run. It's now coming out that essentially, a lot of Latinos now, they're not really siding with the Democrats. And there's been now numbers that 1 million Democrats have switched parties to the Republicans. Oh, my stars and garters. That is not good tidings going into what's probably going to be a very, very, very ugly midterm election for the Democrat Party. Speaking of ugly stories, oh Jesus! If there's anybody in sports, and I do not watch sports. I mean, ever since it got so political a couple of years back, I just said, you know what? I will eschew any viewership therein. I will have no further partaking of, and I'm really, truly just not into it any longer. If I was ever even collaterally into any form of professional sports. So it could be said that essentially the way, shape, and form in which we find ourselves with professional sports, it's exceedingly political. They do go woke. And when they do go woke, it's only when it really, 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 really costs them that they go, oh, my stars and garters, this is getting really, really bad for us. Perhaps we should rethink this. I did find out, and it really tickled me. Everybody was going on with this whole woke thing about, it's Pride Month. Everybody should be wearing, rainbows and this, that, and the other thing. That don't play in MLB, mostly because most of the guys playing Major League Baseball now are Latinos, and it's not that they're good Catholic guys most of the time. I mean, trust me, there's huge Catholic inroads in the Latin community, and they really truly don't hate the gay community. It's nothing like, oh, you ain't taking you're like this, man. I do not like this. It's not like that at all. It's more a case of just we're just not like that, dude. And they've tried to say, well, you guys need to be charitable to the pride cause. You need to wear rainbow on your uniforms. And the Latino guys said not only no, but hell no. So there was like a mass of refusal, rebuttal, any re that you want to throw into it. The Latinos are like, nah, dude, no, we don't fly the the rainbow flag. Sorry, try somebody else. Give me one sec. So MLB had some guys flying the rainbow flag, but by and large, the Latino contingent, which is a huge Latino contingent in the Major League Baseball, said, not doing it, man. Not into it. Not doing it. Don't try to stick that crap on my jersey. Not flying it. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but supposedly he's back again. Yeah, colon crap on dick. Yeah, that ping pong headed, screaming, meme-eyed social piece of human debris. I found it really funny. He did a workout with the LA Raiders, so Las Vegas, LV, Las Vegas Raiders, to see if he's still in shape to return to the NFL after 6 years out of the game. And the thing about it is this one's also coming from Truth Press. There was a basically public statement. Oh yeah, it was a great workout. Everybody really just meshed together. It was amazing. It was perfect. Oh man, they couldn't say enough good things about him. Well, they excluded the media, so nobody could really see what was going on. What else was going on? Well, somebody decided to hover a drone over and look down. They hovered a drone over and they were looking to see how things were going. And let's just say things weren't going so good. And it's been stated that the workout was a mess. And, it's even been stated by ex-Raiders player Warren Sapp. He called it a disaster. He wasn't that great to begin with, okay? I mean, he really started out okay, and then he kind of fell apart. Yeah. So immediately after the workout concluded, the Raiders let the sports media know that Kaepernick's workout, quote unquote, went well, and quote, the door is open for him, end quote, to be signed sometime in the future. However, little's been said of the workout since, and there never was any video of the workout released, nor any reports of any witnesses of the event. It all seemed to go quiet. On top of that, Raiders have taken no further steps to sign the former 49ers second string quarterback, another indication that all is not out open door as it seems. So if Warren Sapp's comments or evidence, maybe we all know why it's just suddenly gone quiet. Sapp said Kaepernick's workout was horrible and nobody wants to admit it. After Vlad TV hang on a second, it's doing all kinds of stupid stuff. After the Vlad TV host noted there were rumors that Kaepernick's workout was not very good, Sapp jumped in saying, quote, I heard it was a disaster. I heard it was one of the worst workouts ever. I'm wondering how in the hell this happened and the tape didn't get out, right? Sapp said he's very suspicious that no video of the workout has ever come to light. Kaepernick became a national figure when he spent the entirety of the 2016 season protesting against the country by taking a knee during the playing of the national anthem. His anti-Americanism made him a hero for the left, but his protests quickly morphed into being so thoroughly anti-American as to be merely a statement against police brutality. When he first began his protest in 2016, former quarterback Colin Crapon-Dick said quite directly he could not stand for the American flag. His protest was a direct attack on the flag in the country, and he said so in his own words on August of 2016. Quote, I'm not going to stand up to show pride in the flag to our country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies on the street, people getting paid to leave, and getting away with murder, Kaepernick says. I mean, there's other things too. He wore a shirt praising, Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, a mass murderer and self-professed enemy of America. He's also showing he's not protesting a few police. It goes on and on and on. You know the history of this steaming pile of how do I say this without saying this? Steaming pile of yeah, that just yeah, steaming pile of yeah. Yeah. Yeah, steaming pile. Mm. Steaming pile of yeah, steaming pile of dookie. Anyway, so basically I don't see him doing anything any further except he put on a good show. So somebody was really like, "Yeah, hey, hurrah, he's back!" Ooh, the usual suspects sucking up to the guy that pretty much just sucks. Got my laptop off to the side here, so I gotta look off to the side here. Let's see. Scroll. Um, hang on a second here. Scroll. Okay, this is the way things should work with Roe v. Wade, and I really truly want to be honest here. I have the lowest possible opinion of this C.U.N. Toledo, New York governor. Just this one coming in from PJ Newsletter. She's just Governor Kathy Hochul. She'll be doubling down on the pro-choice side. She said she just signed a new piece of legislation that's guaranteed to bolster abortion rights and give abortion providers more room to maneuver. Okay. That's how it's supposed to work. Your state says, go right ahead, man. Do anything you want. You are allowed to do it here. The federal government goes, well, but you're not supposed to be doing that. It's like, yeah, but you know what? They're doing it here. They're not doing it, and we're paying for it somewhere else where you would have purview and influence, or you're now providing the funds for us to do something for providing that person from going from here to there. Interstate commerce. You guys have no say in the matter. So I got an itch right here. So she actually was correct in this regard. But the thing about it is what she's enabling, I'm not so much a fan. But you know what? If you're doing it up there, you're not doing it in my backyard, I'm not paying for it, so much the better. Do it in New York. And so basically she's like thumbing her nose going, you're going to do it here because, you Neanderthals don't understand the sophistication and complexity of the situation at hand, blah, 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 whatever. So anyway, she's basically signed legislation to empower abortion. Have fun. You're doing it in your state, which is exactly how Roe v. Wade is supposed to work. Hang on a second. I really went nuts here. Supposedly Disney is still in major culture shock, trying to figure out why their stock is now down like 40%. Just give me one sec. Their stock is now down 40%. And Blow Job Year is not doing so good in the box office. Well, mainly because most people don't really want to expose their children to that. And I'm not going to go expressly, into saying what that is, but let's just say the subject matter in Blow Job Year is not correct for the kids to be exposed to when it's supposed to be a kids movie. Logan Ray, appreciate you coming by, brother. So anyway, that's where we find ourselves with that one. Of course, Disney's now losing their ever-living minds trying to figure out why everything's not working out so great for them, because they've gone woke, and they've doubled down on woke, and they've said they're so woke, and it's all woke, and, because we're all woke, and woke, and, it should be everything spiffy. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This one is kind of the sign of the times. The situation we find ourselves now is there's obviously a bunch of pilots that retired after COVID. They're like, you know what? I got enough years in. I don't want to deal with this BS anymore. corporate structure sucks right now. It's just not good to be a pilot. They're flying the crap out of us up to the absolute limit that we're allowed to do so. We're working our asses off. We're tired. So it's gotten to the point now that American Airlines, which is based in Texas, has confirmed they're ending service to 3 major cities as a result of pilot shortage. Not vehicles, not fuel, not economic structure, but men to sit in the front of the bird and drive. So they will no longer be providing service to Islip and Ithaca, both places upstate New York, as well as Toledo, Ohio. Now, Toledo's not a small town. I mean, that's actually a pretty good hit. Ithaca and Islip, that's Rust Belt, upstate New York. So, you could obviously go to like Saginaw or you could go to like Buffalo, and it's kind of in line with each other. But, New York's not a small state. I mean, you're going to be driving to get to these places. So anyway, way, shape, and form which we find ourselves, they are now suffering the slings and arrows of not quite outrageous fortune, but pretty much the way things are socially. There's a lot of people that essentially have said, I'm going to do another job. I don't need to be locked into this, whatever situation of which you try to put me into. Other alternatives around. I mean, these guys are pilots, they're certified. They could actually probably fly somewhere else if they wish to. They could fly for another agency. They could actually do something else, and they can fly like corporate jets. They don't need to fly the small birds. Excuse me 1 second here. I mean, most especially when you get certified to fly a corporate, large, passenger size aircraft. That is a huge certification. I mean, the guys in the fighter jets joke around and say, yeah, you're driving the bus. But still, you're flying something around. It is a big honking aircraft. You got to know what you're doing. It's a multi-engine bird. There's a lot of stuff going on besides trying to fly around some jet and target other jets and, do like fighter pilot stuff. But flying around a big jet is not exactly simple either. You're not just putting around, just going, just basically flick a switch here and it takes off, and flick another switch and I'll land there, flick another switch and we'll be in full cruise, these other things going on. So it's not a simple thing to just start flicking switches and the plane does everything, because there's a reason why they have people in front of the plane. Yes, it does have, all kinds of technology on board to fly the most efficiently, where you come off the deck and you land on the deck. Most of the time that's automated. Most of the time the flight is automated to stay completely in the most efficient way of flying. But you still have people on board, because that plane's not going to go, okay, there's a situation coming up and I'll just turn this off, turn that on, all these other things. They're not built to do that. It's the reason why there's people on board to augment the automated systems. And there's a reason why planes are not fully automated. It's because they're not there yet, okay? We want to have people on board. We're not comfortable with flying with robotic planes, and we're not quite there yet. So anyway, that's where we are with that one. Let me throw that one in the can. This one has tickled me to no small degree. Liz Cheney's polling is so far in the how do I say this without saying this? Liz Cheney, her polling. How can you say this without saying this? Liz Cheney's polling is, yeah. Yep, it's right there. Liz Cheney polling is just right there. Is just sound guy. No, I don't know where that one's coming from. Tony Montana. Okay, whatever. So anyway, she's looking horrible for re-election, and it couldn't happen to a nicer, yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer one of those. So anyway, where do we find ourselves? Also, her career is
He's dead, Jeff.
okay. Thanks, Bones. Yeah. So anyway, scrolly. Yeah. So Joe Blob here. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. I really, truly do not trust this guy, but supposedly Pence says him and Trump split on, good terms. I don't trust the guy. I mean, he's making news saying, oh, this, that, and the other thing, and I'm doing a couple things, and I still don't trust him. I really, truly don't trust Mike Pence. This one is exceedingly cool. PatriotJournal.com. Got to pop this guy up. Supreme Court basically gave a 6-3 ruling on the First Amendment. And this is huge, 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 huge. The Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that state programs providing money for public school tuition cannot exclude schools that offer religious instruction. This has been one of the, I got to, folks. I'm sorry. I got to. This is one of those occasions. It is justified for Thor's hammer. It has been well stated by the leftists. They are trying to take apart any form of any kind of parochial or religious or any kind of just religious instruction in schools. They really just, they find it anathema to their very way of living, breathing, and inhaling oxygen and excreting carbon dioxide for anybody to posit the notion that something is bigger than themselves. They simply cannot handle that because, well, they think that they're the gods, little g. They think that they're the gods, little g. So anyway, the 6-3 decision relaxed longstanding restrictions on using taxpayer money to pay for religious education. At issue was a state program in Maine, one of my favorite states, by the way, that made taxpayer money available to families who live in remote areas without public high schools. So the 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court decided that states could not deny funds for public school tuition to schools that offer religious instruction. The case came out of Maine, which provided taxpayer funds for families who live in remote areas. In these parts of the states, there are no public schools available to students. So the state offered tuition to attend public or private schools nearby. But Maine denied the funding for any school that provided religious instruction. The case ruled that this was a violation of religious freedom. Democrats, of course, will be outraged. They claim that providing money for children to go to school and teach religion is the same as the state endorsing that religion. But the court didn't think so. 6 out of the 9 justices deemed this policy was infringing on the First Amendment freedoms of these children. But it also could be considered discrimination since the states are providing funds for other students, but not for these religious families. It's safe to assume the 3 liberal justices on the court voted in the minority, but Chief Justice Roberts and the conservative justices voted in favor of religious families. This could be a watershed ruling that allows families to receive funds to send their children to schools of their choice. Now, this has been well stated in the Republican Party, school choice. And it's not been like, oh, yeah, well, we want all these white guys to go to the most boutique, bougie schools around. It's also been stated as saying, look, you people of color, you guys are getting hosed by sending your kids to basically, pretty much a crack-filled area of, like, gun violence. You should have a choice to send your kids to someplace better. School choice takes the power from the hand of the National Education Association and puts it in the hands of the parents. Democrats do not like choice. They do not. It's like the good old times back in, communists. In Soviet Russia, you had choice of one shoe, possibly 2 shoes if you're good. Just give me 1 second here. So that's where we are on that one. That's also something else that's exceedingly cool. So now we have the trifecta. We have educational freedom. We have carry permits being not something that has to be like a boutique item in the state to go, well, you have to show good and fair reason. My state is still kicking around on that one, and they're going to have a Zoom meeting coming up with the Attorney General and what are the high muckety mucks to basically talk about that. I can tell you for a fact, Brian Frosh, the Attorney General in Maryland right now is how do I say that? How do I say this without saying this? He is just how do I say this without saying this? As soon as he heard that, he probably was just like,
You asshole.
And I'm sure he was saying that and then something. And it was probably a case that he was probably losing his cookies. Why? Because he's Kermit the Frosh. And he looks like a Muppet. I mean, that's about the easiest way to describe this guy. He's like this 6'3" beanpole with like this kind of 70s porn mustache thing going on, and he looks like a closet pervo. I mean, I'll say that right off the bat. He looks like a closeted pervo, and he has been nothing but a leftard, screaming memeite of the highest order, trying to sue gun companies, just basically being just a how do I say this without saying this? He's been just he's been just
Dick.
he's been a huge
Dick.
yeah. I mean, if I ever saw him in public, I would just walk up to him and go, you know what?
You dick.
Yeah, you
Dick.
He definitely makes the
Dick.
just the most apropos. His picture's next to it in the dictionary. Okay.
Dick.
Yeah, just Brian Frost. You.
Dick.
Yeah, just.
You dick.
Yeah, I cannot express that highly enough. He's just.
Dick.
Yeah, huge.
You dick.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're good, sound guy. We know that he's just a.
Dick.
I think we're good. Okay. I think we're good. Right? Amazing. Okay. I was expecting more out of him. He paused. Woo. Okay. Anyway, scrolly. I hope you guys remember and keep a list of every single person who voted for this latest iteration of feel-good gun control Bravo Sierra that really doesn't fix anything. The only thing it does is
What?
no, it doesn't even what. It just it does nothing. It just steps all over your constitutional rights without doing anything except enabling the red flag laws, and they really truly are just they're not even worthy. Okay, not at all. Let's see. Scroll. So remember the guys that turned against you when it comes time to vote for them, and they're going, "Oh, please vote for me. I'm an incumbent." Mark my words. Boot every blanking incumbent out of office. Rhino panty liners. Rhino wedgies. Oh, jeez. My paid review appreciates coming to the room, sir. All right. Yeah, I mean, just remember these guys when it comes time when you walk into the voting booth and you get to pull that lever going, I remember you. Yeah, I got a list. I remember one of the last elections where they had one of the screaming memeite lefties, local guy, and they happened to have his dad positing for him going, "Hi, I'm so-and-so's dad. I'm going to tell you about his voting record." I just walked past him going, "Yeah, I know his voting record." And it was kind of like, yeah, well, this is like, do you actually have any like observational ability? Take a hard look at me. Do you think I'm honestly voting for your son? I know your son. I know his voting record. And pretty much just
You dick.
okay, I'll allow that. Yeah, he is absolutely
Dick.
he is a
Dick.
huge libtard screaming
Dick.
Okay, that's it. No more. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but she is a firebrand. Do not do this to her. Democrats claim Representative Lauren Boebert was a quote unquote paid escort. And what did she do? She took immediate legal action. Oh, man. The American Muckrakers PAC produced a release that contained a number of allegations against the Republican firebrand, but Boebert claims none of them are true and there is no evidence. The result is immediate legal action by her attorneys. It all started when the Muckrakers smeared Boebert in the release by claiming she was a quote-unquote unlicensed escort, end quote, for a sugar daddy website, and claimed she'd also had 2 abortions. Whoops. It even included a series of heavily redacted text messages where a PAC staffer seemed to lead an unknown person to suggest that Representative Boebert was blackmailing Texas Senator Ted Cruz to get his political support. On top of that, the release said Boebert and her husband said that Boebert and her husband had a quote-unquote meth problem, end quote, and Boebert was quote-unquote stripping at the time, end quote. There's a couple of pictures included, but it's since been debunked. The photos are actually of a different woman, Melissa Carone, who made a, quote, unsupported voter fraud claim during the 2020 election. As far as Boebert's concerned, the PAC won't get away with any of this. Man, I hope she takes down every inch of that and basically bankrupts them. I don't know if you heard about this one or not, but Joe Kaka is talking about a, air quotes, second pandemic. Dealing with, well, you know it, you love it, but we'll be dealing with a second form therein of, not that again, but the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Yeah, so Joe Kaka thinks we'll be dealing with the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. King moron. That's all I got to say about that one, because we're not a bunch of idiots that are just going, feed me, fix me, give me something to use because I'm too stupid to do it all. Ugh. Joe Kaka, you are a pussy. That's all I got to say about that one. Going on about January 6th, I heard it was kind of interesting. Supposedly, like, one of the key guys just kicked off under suspicious circumstances. The Capitol Police Chief debunked key accusation that basically he didn't do anything, and he let them know ahead of time things are getting bad. You better attend to things. And Nan Pelosi didn't, and she's actually in charge of security in the Capitol. She let it all happen. I've been seeing numerous videos of, like, the guard guys basically standing at the door, denying entry, and you see somebody come walking up, tap them all on the shoulder, going, no, let him in. So there's a lot of hinky stuff going on. Of course, they're still saying Trump was the fault, Trump was the cause, Trump is this, Trump is that, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of he said, she said, until you actually have somebody in Congress and Senate that can keep the rest of them honest. It's a major distraction, folks. That's really all it is. And it's not playing well. Everybody that's been watching this soap opera has said there's actually nothing substantial there. There's nothing new. That what they're positing in the January 6th committee is pretty much just empty, blah, blah, blah. It's really just a theater of just these guys putting on some Politburo's show to use the seriousness of the charges, because they really truly don't have any way to simply say, yes, we really have something with some teeth. So as long as they don't have something with some teeth, you really can't do anything with it, because you're just making noise, and there is there's more to it than that, sound guy. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so all right. Oh yeah, you got to feed the dog. Are you done? I think he's done. Okay. Anyway, dude, what have you been feeding that dog? Okay. Scrolly. Roe v. Wade. Is that the other thing? Supreme Court justices need to be placed in secure facilities. This is just, when they're desperate. This is all they have. I cannot do this one justice. I don't even know if I could play this one, but I got to tell you, it was blanking hilarious when one of these news guys walked up to Carrie Lake and it said, "I'll do an interview as long as it airs." Oh, what was that? Was the CNN person ambushed Carrie Lake outside the event, and she said, "Hey, I'll do an interview as long as it airs on CNN Plus." Now, does that even still exist? And they were like, "Well, you know what? I'll see you later." And pretty much just ripped them a new one. I could not do it justice, and it was absolutely hilarious to watch. So, as long as the politicians have a set of nuts and they're willing to carry forth with their own strong opinions, good things happen. Um, I don't know if you guys ever heard about this part right here, but this is really, really bad juju. Give me 1 second here. I need to finish my swiggage. This is really, really bad. Supposedly now there's now coming in from truthpress.com, but the FDA plans to abandon and not do any more further clinical trials for any future. How do I say this without saying this without getting in trouble? Well, you do know the sound effect I do utilize is called the 44 Magnum shot. So you know exactly what I'm saying when I play this sound bite. So we're talking about future. So people getting the, getting the, getting that, okay? People getting that concerning the. Okay, so we're all on board now, right? That's what I can't say. Oh, would you stop with the chime? Jeez, sound good. Well, at least you're not starting up again with the, the. Oh, he's doing it again. Anyway, you guys see what I got to deal with on a daily basis, right? All right. Anyway, so the FDA plans to abandon any clinical trials. Why? Because they know, well, it might actually be bad for you. Yeah. So if you take this stuff into your body, yeah, you might be actually dealing with
Death! By snoo snoo!
No, it is not.
Snoo snoo!
It is not snoo snoo.
Death! By...
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow that. All right. So anyway, if you basically are experimenting with the new crap, Patriot Fever. That's true. He could be. He could be. I consider myself lucky in that one. So we're just gonna let sleeping ducks lie, and we're fine. Okay, we're good. All right. So anyway, let me get back to the article here. Truth Press. Pfizer and Moderna have a problem. Their bang. Do not stop. Do not blah blah blah. Over 500 million doses injected in Americans past 17 months, and these bangs have no discernible impact on the course of the pandemic. 4 more Americans have died of the Chinese Communist covert viral infection since the introduction of the bang were introduced. So Pfizer and Moderna are making 50 billion a year on these bang, and they want that to continue. So they need to reformulate. Maybe target a new variant, maybe change some of the ingredients. Who knows? These bangs have disappointed, so it's not clear on what they can do to get them to work. It's just icky, folks. It really, really is icky. I cannot do you justice by showing you the picture of this person. But let's just say a person who really, truly enjoys doing like children's shows. How do I express this without expressing this? You know what? I think I'll just show you the picture and let you guys go from there. Yes, I have to show you the picture. There's no other way I can do it other than just showing you the picture. Woof. Just woof. Hang on a second. It's being annoying. I really hate when it does this dragging around thing. Sometimes it does this on the tablets. It just gets weird. All right. Well, it's not going to allow me to do it. So I really don't want to. Let's see. I might have to. I actually have to cheat this. See if that works. It's going to be annoying. Yes, yes. I might actually be able to cheat this. Yes, I can cheat this. I can cheat this. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can cheat this. Well, anyway, supposedly the story is a Pennsylvania drag queen was charged with 25 counts of child pornography, according to a criminal docket issued Thursday. Bryce Patrick Ryshawn Williams was charged with 25 counts of pornography, 18 counts of criminal use of communication facility. But I cannot do it justice. The masculine and feminine pronouns, HIV medical case manager, that's that and the other thing. Anastasia Diamond. No, I gotta like cheat this for you. So hang on one second here. Let me move my stuff around a little bit more. Hopefully, I don't get dinged again for doing something untoward, but hopefully I can kind of do this. But let me cheat a little bit here. Maybe I can do it like such, but that's the vision that is saying yes, you need to endure my show and all the rest of this fun happy horse stuff. But yes, charged 25 counts of child porn. Eesh. I gotta say that if there's anybody that screams the phrase groomer, that person. Now, the other thing too is also charged with a crime does not mean you're guilty of the crime. But, if you're going to be dealing with something that's going to be that untoward, pretty safe to say, you got it, man. You got it. You are just no. Don't no sound guy. No, that one we have to keep sacred for we have to keep that sacred for Joe Kaka. I mean, we can call her a pile of human debris, just one of those type of individuals that just does untoward things while enabling themselves to just do just horrible stuff. They're gonna do stuff, okay? It's just how they are. But I can tell you for a fact, as soon as that door was getting knocked on and the cops were coming in and taking a look at the computer,
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
oh, most assuredly, and he was not saying, "I'm just going to be a big stinking pile of sound guy." No, Joe. That's for Joe, not for. Anyway. So I'm sure the door was open and it wasn't like, oh, here's my new friends in uniform. This is great. No, I'm sure it was a case of they were like, oh, crap. Just. And I'm sure they were marching in there and grabbing up everything. So anyway, yeah, dude is in a little bit of trouble. Uh, Now they've been going on and on about high gas prices aren't that big a deal. We can hang. It's cool. No major problems, folks. I got to tell you personally, that has been so impactful on my work slash quote unquote business per se. I can actually watch my bank account just going. It is blanking redonkulous, dude. Oh, blink and fade. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming by. Uh, but anyway, looking at stuff, these guys are now going on about, oh, it's not such a big a deal. And, they're talking a good game in politics, but you really, truly have to be honest with how things are going right now. The economy is pretty much just kind of teetering along and kind of on that precipice of depression and recession and all the rest of that fun, happy horse stuff. And people really are not willing to spend lots of cash. I've heard people say, well, recession is the time to sell stuff. No, it isn't. No, because then you have a really, 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 really hard time trying to replace it. So, I mean, like right now, even like, used vehicles, used trucks, any kind of thing that's available because, with the chip shortage and all, I mean, it's a perfect storm too. COVID, the shipping problems, obviously, them curtailing petroleum utilization and all the rest of this fun, happy horse stuff. The financial networks being a major, major downfall right now. People are seeing the reality of it, and they're just not going, yeah, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of stock. I mean, the stock market's taking a huge hit. And I cannot begin to tell you how much Mrs. Dude's stocks have, that she has investment in have taken a hit, but because I really don't watch those. And it's kind of more like her, her gov retirement thing. There's like stocks and what have you. But I know for a fact it's gone down. But anyway, looking at here, this is going to be picturealerts.com. Just in, stocks and oil prices tumble. Americans terrified of looming recession. Well, I'm not terrified of it. I mean, I've been saying it for freaking ever. Looking at the stock market, going, it's too overvalued. People are spending stupidly. They're way over investing. They're way over leveraged. They are hosed. And now it comes a time where the reality of it is they have scant savings. They're overspent. They are way not leveraged enough. They bought high. Whatever they bought is now way expensively trying to maintain. And that which they have, they're going to have a hard time keeping. Excuse me one sec. So, situation in which they find themselves, they're basically looking at, I don't really buy into this whole, well, people, most Americans are only one paycheck away from losing their houses. Dude, the last thing they want to do is take your freaking house. Because if they take your house, they now have empty property that's not giving them any money. They'd rather you paying late than not paying at all. Let's see. Scroll. Patriot people come to think of it. Put Romney, Graham, Boebert, and Green at the same table. Let them argue as the largest being, balls. Good time private. Oh, oof. Bad juju. Let's see. So anyway, the U.S. Going into the article here, the major U.S. stock index gave up some of its early gains after the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stated the U.S. Central Bank is, quote unquote, strongly committed to lowering inflation. The energy sector at S&P 500 fell by 4.2%. It doesn't have much more to fall, folks. After Powell testified the U.S. Senate Banking Committee that higher rates are unpleasant, but is the only tool the U.S. Central Bank has to limit inflation, the dollar dropped along with the U.S. Treasury yields amid worries the U.S. economy could enter a recession. Folks, you want to fix the blanking problem? Stop spending like crazy. That's how you fix the economy. You take the U.S. federal government budget and you have it. If the country makes $3 or $4 trillion a year and you're spending $7 or $8 trillion a year, where's the extra money coming from? Stop spending. It's blatantly obvious. If you make $50,000 a year and you spend $120,000 a year, pretty much you're broke, bankrupt, and people are taking your stuff back because you can't afford to pay for it. Stop spending. Quote, like all federal commentary, there's positive and negatives, but the overall message is the Fed is not backing away from rate hikes. Exclaimed Ted Grasinski, a Ingalls and Snyder portfolio strategist. dude, you got no strategy. You're screwed. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna hit the stocks when they're, much, much lower and buy it. Try to buy in. You're gonna buy something that's gonna fall through the floor. Enjoy, dumbasses. This one is unbelievably profound, and I cannot believe this took place in, of all places, New York State. I'm absolutely shocked this took place, believe it or not. But a New York judge struck down the law allowing non-citizens to vote. Why? And this is good. New York Judge Ralph Porzio ruled on Monday that New York City's extension of voting rights to non-citizens violated the New York Constitution. Sound a little familiar there? Yeah, Constitution. Kind of like the founding documents. Old state, 13 colonies. Yeah, they probably got some old laws in the books that pretty much liberals really aren't happy about. Yeah. Oh, there's other things too. Oh, yeah. The state election law and the municipal home rule law rendered another Democrat attempt to undermine elections illegal, null, and void. The bill creating a new class of non-citizen voters, potentially numbering as many as 900,000 voters in New York City municipal elections, was passed by the New York City Council in December 2021. Now get this, folks. This is the slicker than snot part. But was not vetoed or signed by former Mayor Bill de Blasio. After 30 days without action from de Blasio, the bill was considered adopted under council rules. Cute, huh? As ordered from Judge Porzio explains, quote, the New York State Constitution expressly establishes voting qualifications for local elections and is defined as a right of citizens. That's like, basically like when they have something to quote, they put a quote around the quote. Yeah. In addition, New York election law states only citizens may vote in elections. And New York's home rule law also mandates that local laws, quote, may not be inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution or of any general law. The attempt to allow non-citizens vote meant the New York City Council was in violation of all three. Now, if they were to do this right, what they would do is they would take every single one of those assholes, drag them out, put them under arrest, and put them under the jail for attempting to subvert the state constitution. I bet there's something in the law book about that. That would be good shiznit. So scrolly is enough on that one. You guys got basically the gist of it. I don't want to read this thing all the way through. Let's see. Scroll. I cannot begin to tell you how much I am man-loving of this gentleman right here. But Clarence Thomas, this one also coming from the Patriot Journal. Clarence Thomas sends Democrats spinning. Liberals are concerned after he's going after a major, quote, substantive due process, end quote, rights. Supreme Court struck down a win for constitutional Americans when they reversed Roe v. Wade. The decision to restore the rights of the people throughout the election officials to decide on abortion. Reverted to the states, folks, which is correct on how things are. So, in decision, Roe creates no scenario in the cases that nearly. So, Thomas thinks so, and thinks the court should also revisit these rulings. And Democrats are panicking big time. From the Hill, Justice Clarence Thomas' concurrent opinion calling on the Supreme Court to revisit or reconsider landmark cases protecting access to contraceptives and LGBTQ, XYZ, the rest of it. Rights is striking fear among Democrats, with many worry about how far the conservative court will go after if it took down the extraordinary step of reversing Roe v. Wade. Okay, all these government mandates are overreaches. They are states' rights issues. I have absolutely no problem with anybody basically declaring themselves as a cucumber. I just don't want to pay for them to be a cucumber. I don't want to have special rights accredited to them because they say, well, I'm a member of the fruit branch. I'm not a vegetable. Just give me 1 second. I'm a member of the fruit branch. I'm not a vegetable. I don't care if you're in the produce aisle at all. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. You're another human being. Leave me alone. In his concurrent opinion on Friday's ruling, Thomas wrote that, quote, in future cases, we should reconsider all of the court's substantive due process precedents. arguing that the constitutional due process clause does not secure a right to abortion or any other substantive rights. Translation: all these decisions that have come out from the Congress, got shot through by the Senate, and became federal law are a gross and distinct overreach. It's not a constitutional, it's not a Republican, it's not even anybody but an originalist view looking at the Constitution. The Constitution says these are what are the government's allowed rights to take away, modify, or tweak in some way. No, you cannot take away anybody's rights. 14th Amendment, folks, that which is not accredited to the federal government goes back to the states. But there's also all those annoying little first 13 amendments that really hold up and they do their own thing. First going against the second. One stands up to the other, protects the other. Fourth, all of those things, basically protection. Fifth, protection for self, self-incrimination, all these things. If you read the Constitution and you look at it from, basically from head to tail, it is a remarkable document. So much so that other countries have actually copied it and made it their constitution, either in whole or in parts, because of the phrasing and the nuances that the founding fathers put in there to say, look, we just got out of dealing with an oligarch, okay? We don't want to be like, the country run by one guy. We don't want to have our rights being basically stepped on all over the place. And if you really, really, really want to do some good research, don't look at just the Constitution. Look at the Federalist Papers and look at the Magna Carta. And if you want to really, really, really go back to going back some major years of, how things have worked, slaves had more rights than people ever gave them in like ancient Rome and Greece. Those guys were more like employees than slaves. But that whole thing gets twisted up when people get very emotional about, the black culture and their slavery and all the rest of that. Yeah, things sucked for the black culture as being slaves in the United States. I get it, okay? But if you want to really truly go down and dirty, I got 6,000 years of history to throw at you from the Jewish side of the persuasion, okay? You don't see us really going, we want reparations because we're Jewish guys and everything sucks. We moved on, all right? You're all Americans now. Move on. So the substantive due process, according to Thomas, has basically turned into a blank check for justices to legislate their morality from the bench onto the American people. Thomas specifically mentioned two cases. One decided the right for someone to have access to contraceptives, and the other the right for the government to acknowledge same-sex unions as marriage. Note this is the only Thomas opinion, clearly not the opinion of the judges signed the majority opinions. The majority opinion of the court does not agree with Thomas on these matters, and it requires new cases to be brought before the court before any changes can be made. I hope this man never retires. If you want to talk about strict constitutionalists, this is your guy. This is truly your guy. Let's see. Scrolly. I cannot do this justice, but AOC, also known as Queen Bubblehead, in office. I've also heard other less than appropriate phrases as, she's the blank from the Bronx. She's the blank from the Bronx. I cannot do it justice, folks. You have to insert your own phrases on that one. But, man, some of them have been absolutely freaking hilarious. So AOC demands Supreme Court impeachment. She accuses multiple justices of, quote, lying under oath, end quote, during confirmation. Oh, my stars and garters, man. You want to talk about a set of nuts? This chick's got them. I'm not saying she's going to get anywhere because of it, but she's got a set of nuts. I'm going to give her that. Let's see. Democrats are melting all over the place because of the historic overturning of Roe v. Wade. Someone made some wild threats against the court. Others, like AOC, seem totally beside themselves with rage. Okay, have you ever, and I do mean like ever, from like birth to death, have you ever seen a Democrat genuinely happy? No, they're absolutely some of the most miserable SOBs on the planet, and they want you to share in their misery, and Everything is bad. There's never anything good. The only time that you can declare any kind of victory is something that basically steps all over everybody's rights and it just enfolds and encourages and enables the government to further stepping upon your right. It's just they're sick people, folks. They really, really are just sick individuals. That's the only way you can say it. So anyway, from the Daily Wire, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez claimed without evidence on Sunday that the U.S. Supreme Court justice voted for overturned Roe v. Wade, quote, lied, end quote, under oath during confirmation hearings, which she said is a, quote, an impeachable offense, end quote. God, folks, I got to do this right, okay? I normally don't do this. Lord, please hear my words. If there's ever a time that AOC could try to bring one of the federal Supreme Court justices up on charges of lying under oath, please allow this to happen, Lord. Please. I want to see these guys get on the stand and make her pay heartily for trying to usurp the Supreme Court in her way of doing things. Hear my prayers, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I normally don't do that, folks, but I got to tell you, if there was ever a time that you have to call upon the Almighty to say, please allow this to happen, this is one of those times. This is definitely one of those times. Oh, my stars and garters. Please, please. Oh, wow. All right, folks, I think it's time to break off on this one. I do appreciate your kind attention, you guys hanging out with me. You know, I know you got many other things to do, but, well, you guys hung out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind attentions. And come on by next time. I guess I'll see you guys. And unfortunately, I'm still rocking a 30-day on Facebook, but you know that. I'm always rocking a 30-day on Facebook. It is what it is. So I'm going to break up with this one, folks. Equal categories, always, you know you love it. And I truly appreciate your kind attention. You guys get a gold star for attendance, and I will see you guys next week. Maybe something sooner. I don't know. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the wrong sound bite. Oh, well, you guys know me. I screw up, and it's fun. But I'll catch you guys next week, and see you guys later. See you guys.